You're not just raising kids, you're raising future adults who will remember how you made them feel. Hi, my name is Jesse, and while I was thinking about what to put for this one, I was thinking about the legacy that I wanted to leave for my kids and what stories they would tell. In this episode, we're going to learn 3 ways to discipline with love, not power, because you're just not trying to put them in their place. You're raising kids who are going to remember how you took care of them. I want you to subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, and just hit the subscribe button wherever it's located today, on the right or left. Hit all allows my content to be available to you. And if you're already a subscriber, welcome back. All right, so the correct behavior, not the identity. That wasn't like you're bad. How many times have you said that? How many times have you said that and went, ugh, okay, how could I have approached this better as an adult? I mean, I find myself there every once in a while, let's face it. And you're probably saying, well, Jesse, what do you mean by this? Where are you hoping to go with this? Listen, not every scenario that you're in requires you to change your tone. It doesn't require you to raise your voice. See, what kids hear and see when you raise your voice, all they hear is volume. They don't actually hear the words or the meaning of that sometimes, because it's possible that you've put them in fight or flight. You've done that? I've done that? No. It was warranted. It was warranted for what they did. And it might have been, but it's also a part of you now that you realize that, where you can go, okay, I can dial it back. Once I get the point across where I've got their attentions, I can dial it back. And I might not have to be the yeller, the screamer, because again, all they hear is volume and what that is. And if you hear, how did you feel when you heard you're bad as a kid? It felt like you were just terrible. You didn't know what to do. You didn't know how to do it. You didn't know how to do it right. And in a way, it's kind of like getting back at your parents in a really weird way, but through your kids. Try that on for mindset. What does that feel like? What did you feel like when you heard you're bad? Didn't feel very good. Now imagine what your kids feel and how they feel. The follow through is always the most important part. Following something that you didn't feel like you did very well at as a parent. And I want you to let yourself off a little bit with this. You as a parent, you're learning to be a parent as well, in tandem with taking care of these kids. I know I am. I do every day. And sometimes they put me in my place. I mean, in a way where they've got a point. Oh, yeah, you're right about that. Oh, okay. I could have done better there. And I own up to it. Because here's what happens when you don't own up to something like that as a parent and you withhold. Withholding is not cool. Withholding from your child when in fact they know that they did something right, but they don't feel like you will acknowledge that, or you can acknowledge that, or all they want is some sort of acknowledgement, because they feel like it, underneath it feels like a lie. I was right about that. My spidey sense, this is coming from the kid. I was right about that. I had to have been right about that. And they might have been. And now you're withholding that apology, or coughing up the, you know what, I didn't do that right. You were right about that, and I approached this wrong. It hurts on a soul level for a kid. Again, imagine what it was like for you when your parents didn't own up to something that they did wrong, and you knew they did, and they still carried along with it as if, well, as if it was something that you still did wrong. It's like a lie, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Explain the why, not just the rule. And you don't have to get into the whole geriatrics of what this is. Kids, after a point, it goes over their head. You don't have to explain everything. But teaching sticks when understanding leads. What do I mean by that? When you lead by, I want you to understand what this is that I'm talking about. And you only have to use a couple of words. And it might not be you that helps make it stick, but you've planted the seed. That's all that matters. That is all that matters. As a dad, you are navigating some difficult times. You're not there enough. We're not making enough money. You're not around for the kids, and you're missing opportunities and activities with them and moments and really fun moments, and you're just, not to mention you're missing moments that you would get to share with your wife, with your kids. It's difficult. It's difficult, but I want you to know something. I know where you're coming from when it comes to situations like this. Sometimes we make that sacrifice. And sometimes it's necessary. Comment, love leads. Love leads. If you're choosing connection over control. Connection over control. You want to connect with your kids. You don't want to try and control them. That's manipulation. You want to go further with this and you want to take a big giant step today? Do that. TheValiantLifestyle.com and book that 30-minute call with me, my man, that you have just been yearning to do. You're 4 or 5 episodes in and you're listening to some of the things that I've been saying that are making sense to you, and you're really going, oh my gosh, I really want to do this. Don't talk yourself out of it. Do the thing. Go to TheValiantLifestyle.com and book that 30-minute call, that 30-minute complimentary call, and let's talk about this amongst other things that have come up in other videos that you really want to get after. All right. Thanks for watching. Let's do this.